It has been about 6 years now that I've been using trail cameras on our land to try and document what wildlife dwells here. The first surprise in the fall of 2019 was this fisher. Fishers were always mysterious creatures to me until that moment in time I captured it on camera. This was an exciting discovery. So today I want to bring you on a journey of a species spotlight on the fisher, Pekania pennanti, the second largest weasel species in North America, the wolverine being the largest. It appears from my observations that this predator rules our property and can predate upon animals that are sometimes larger than themselves. My goal is to possibly capture their predation on camera someday. So come along with me and I'll teach you a little bit about this weaselly friend of mine that has been showing up on my cameras over the years.
All right, the beginning of winter. Well, it's still November, but I love it. I love coming out and checking out the tracks in the snow, and already here are some fisher tracks. It's like a big one, or maybe the tracks have melted to make them look bigger. But yeah, that's definitely from our resident fisher.
One of the best ways to identify fisher tracks is to look for claw marks and 5 toes. If you see 4 toes and claws, you have some kind of canine. Having grown up in the West Island of Montreal and having an interest in wildlife, I had always heard stories of the fishers moving into Rigaud, St. Lazare, and Hudson from Ontario. I know this wasn't necessarily the case, but perhaps more like once people moved into these areas off the west end of the island of Montreal, they discovered fishers were living there. I would also hear the typical story of them being the culprit of missing pet cats. And this is not why they are sometimes called fisher cats. It appears that the fisher got its name when the settlers came to North America, and this large weasel resembled the European polecat, which had the name Fitch. Part of its name came from this, and then a couple of other sources as well in Europe. Then, of course, when trapping began of the fisher in the 1800s, they used fish to bait the traps. Fishers are large weasels and are sometimes even mistaken as wolverines in the province of Quebec. At least that's the stories I've heard sometimes. Males can reach nearly 4 feet in length, whereas females will measure only up to a maximum of about 3 feet. Males can weigh in at anywhere up to 13 pounds and females up to about 6 pounds. One thing that I've noticed over the years from my observations on my trail cameras is that I almost never see any fishers during the summertime. I've only had them once the temperatures really start dropping and getting really cool. And also we know that the fisher is very, very well adapted for the snow. They have very large paws, almost like a lynx, but not quite as large as their paws. But this allows them to just kind of glide over the snowpack with ease. So I'm really curious to see why I don't see them during the summer and where they go. Fishers are known for hunting everything from voles to snowshoe hares, and there are even reports of them killing a Canada lynx. On this footage in front of us, we have a fisher stalking a porcupine's den. We have plenty of porcupines on our land and also plenty of fisher activity. So riddle me this. If fishers are said to control porcupine populations, then why do we have so many on my cameras? I think more often than not, the fishers are making the intelligent choice to hunt prey that is less risky to kill. I've also read reports on how where fishers are known to coexist with porcupines, that both populations are usually found to be very healthy. It is said that a fisher will circle the porcupine, avoiding being hit by its tail, and then biting it repeatedly on the head where the porcupine is unprotected. What comes next in the quote-unquote stories is the gruesome tale of the fisher flipping the porcupine over once it is disoriented enough and killing it through its soft belly. If this is true, I hope to possibly capture some fisher predation on my cameras in the future by placing them in front of porcupine den sites. We do, of course, also hear about fishers predating upon the everyday house cat. However, I have read in some biological reports and studies that fishers were found to eat about less than 2% house cat. So I think they're choosing prey that is far less risky to eat. So I think this is enough for now. I will show you guys this last clip of the largest fisher that I've ever come across on our cameras on our land. And I think we'll have to have a part 2 on this species spotlight of my forest ninja friend, the fisher. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some fisher predation on camera. Thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll have a trail camera compilation coming up soon. I've been kind of trying to save little bits of footage from my different cameras over the winter. There really hasn't been a lot of activity. It's been a very strange winter so far, as a lot of you have known, in northeastern North America, especially here in Quebec, Canada. Not very much snow, very warm temperatures. It's been an El Nino winter and now a very early spring so far. So I'm very curious to see what spring brings, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.